In the past year, hundreds of thousands of refugees, men, women, and children have been gathering at Europe's borders. They come from Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Northern Africa. Though the risks are great, seeking asylum in a foreign land holds more hope than a home that is quickly being destroyed by war. They seek peace, safety, acceptance. They seek asylum. Not all borders are open, and not all asylums are given. Countries have reached their quotas and will welcome no more. After travelling for weeks, months, and even years, Calais, France is the final stepping stone to one of the last openings, England. As thousands gather, thousands need food, water, shelter, and clothing for the approaching winter. With the van loaded with supplies, we set out to Calais, France.
So we're on our way to Calais, and so we've got a van and a car, full of stuff for the refugees in Calais. We sort of got the idea from my friend Tobias, his neighbour, when she went on a trip. So we wanted to be able to give as much, and if not more, to the people, and we wanted to be a more direct impact instead of just giving it to someone else. I wanted to be able to be there on the front line, as to say, and be able to see it firsthand. I think it's also important to see the crisis instead of being it just on the telly. So we're here, we've got loads of stuff and loads of donations from friends and families who are kind enough to give it to us, and we're on our way to Calais. We found contacts with a guy called Francis, and he's been kind enough to tell us what to bring, and he's expecting us. But as it stands at the moment, we don't know what to expect and what we will be doing or where we'll be staying. But we've left it in the Lord's hands. We have been praying and fasting. So right now we're just heading to Calais with the mindset just to help him to be able to give to the people, and the rest will just be when we get there.
I'm here at the Calais refugee warehouse, which is sorting out masses and masses of items, sanitary needs, food, bedding, mattresses for the refugees and migrants which are at the Calais camp. And the organisers, Philly, and there's another person called Ed, who have been here diligently for at least the past week, have got people coming in from all faiths, from all walks of life, just coming in and helping out as the needs be. Here you can see where I've been working on sorting out jackets and coats. And if you look at this here, this is a mountain of jackets and coats where we're just sorting out waterproof jackets for men and women and children. And the sad thing is, anything that isn't waterproof is being rejected and going back to somewhere else to be sorted for some other need. So the thing that is really required here more than anything else is people. If you have got the time, do come down and assist, come down and help. It is just a massive humanitarian effort, and every hand will be helpful here.
So we've arrived in Calais. We managed to find the place at ease. So we've come in and we've sort of found the place covered in goods and donations, which is absolutely amazing. Because we were talking to one of the girls who was here last week, and she was telling us there was nothing. and the fact that she's come back and it's overflowing with stuff, that we need more people than we do things, and it's amazing to see how things are coming together. So it's amazing how they've got everything sorted out. So they put them in sizes, types of clothing, what goods they are, and they sort of box it up and they move it down to the refugees and they give it out so it's easier to distribute. And so the mindset really is to get as much as possible, easy as possible, and to make sure they get as much as they can so there's nothing going to waste. And you can tell there's so much that is in need, but what at the end of the day, it's the people that are coming here to help bring the goods out there. And it's just really nice to see that happen regardless of the weather. It's raining right now. They've even provided us with food, so it's just really nice that they're so grateful to have us.
So yeah, when we got here this morning, it was a lot of people, a lot of activity, but very chaotic. So if you have a look, you can see everything was just kind of piled up, and we're needing to get it on the van. So we thought the most useful thing we can do is just organise things. So we're sorting through t-shirts, jumpers and things like that. Myself and Clive, we just went around with some tape and marked off areas on the floor so we can get things organised, so when the vans come to take it straight to the refugees, we can just load it up and it's good to go. So it's funny, like doing this, you see what the most important things are, and it's not so much just giving randomly, it's actually having that kind of organisation to get it out really effectively. We're saving so much time, so yeah, all good.
Known as a jungle, the camps of Calais are regions of wasteland inhabited by refugees determined to cross the English Channel to a more permanent settlement. The makeshift shelters are barely sufficient to ensure protection from the weather, let alone safety. They rely on the kindness of charities for even one meal a day, yet even these so-called comforts can be abandoned in a moment's notice when the authorities drive them out. But the refugees are not disappearing. Instead, since September 2014, the amount of refugees has jumped from 1,300 to over 5,000. As we saw the jungle for ourselves, it was hard to fathom that people were living like this so close to our homes. Rubbish everywhere, stagnant water, open fires, and queues of people waiting for a meagre handout from charities. Despite the hardships, it was amazing to see the happy and helpful spirit of so many refugees. They were willing to work together to help the very people that were helping them. With so many people in need, organisation is difficult. But after being pulled aside and personally trained by a local aid leader, we learned how to distribute efficiently and safely. Their gratitude was evident in their smiles and easy cooperation. However, the hardest moment of all was the point at which we ran out of supplies. To see the look on the face of the next person in line, to accept the reality that hundreds waiting would be told to return to their tents empty-handed, was heartbreaking to say the least. The refugees use only what they can find to assemble a makeshift shelter. Strings, tarps, chairs, wires, and pieces of wood are used. These cramped spaces afford little privacy and house people that never planned to be this far from home with so little. On Sunday, September 20th, a protest was organised by Calais, an organisation that supports displaced people in Calais refugee camps. No human is illegal is their motto. European citizens marched alongside the refugees, demanding the implementation of government-sanctioned asylum. The citizens and refugees alike lay down together for 1 minute of silence, commemorating the tragedy of the lives lost on their journey to asylum. This silence brought tears to so many eyes as many had lost loved ones. The reflection seemed to overwhelm them with the memory of where they had come from. A symbolic fence was made from art canvases that was painted with names, stories, and pictures by united European citizens and refugees. It became a visual symbol of the solidarity that transcends borders.
I think I want people to realise that, they hear these words thrown around like migrants and refugees and, asylum seekers, and suddenly in your mind you've got, just this image of a swarm of people trying to, jump on trains and cross the borders. But these are just normal human beings. This is just like you and me. And, as we would want to be treated if we were in the same situation. People should, do your research, find out what's really needed in those practical things. Real things like warm, waterproof clothes and shoes and food and stuff that's needed. But more than that, just compassion from people, just realizing these are other human beings just like you and me, and there's something that all of us can do for them.
The experience I've had so far has been extremely emotional, I'd say, and the scenes that you see, the people, the stories you hear, and the situation they're in, can really hit you hard. And I remember the first time I went to their homes and such, into their tents. I couldn't find it to speak for a good couple of, a good hour, if not two, because I was so taken back. This is a situation that they are stuck in, and to them they don't see a way out, and that was hard to see, because if you look at them and you spend time with them, they are just the same as you and I, but in a very bad situation. They were okay, say yesterday, and today this is them, and it's been that quick.
So I would say that my experience here has been a great eye-opener. I don't feel like what you see on the TV or what you see in the newspaper really compares to the magnitude of what is actually going on. I know that you tend to feel that things need to change, but when you're actually there, you really do see the severity of it.
Going in completely blind, you only know what you've seen on TV and on news reports. It just doesn't convey the shock, because as you drive up to the camp, the whole kind of Calais port is all very neat, and it's all big expanses of crisp new fences and big empty spaces of grass. So the whole camp is like a kind of big festering sore that's just gradually spreading. Like in the last 10 days, it's grown significantly apparently, and it's just kind of shocking that this camp can actually exist in France.
So really what's needed here is manpower, food, shoes, but really people who are willing to come back here long term and establish relationships, establish friendships with people. Some of these guys that I met today, I could call them family. I don't know if I'm going to see them again, but even though they think we may have made a lasting impression on them, they have made a lasting impression on my life.
So we met a man today who shared this beautiful quote with us, which I just want to share with you. He said, when people have too much, they either build a bigger wall or a bigger table. Those are the only two options. Which one are you going to choose?
As we returned to England, there was a sense of deep thought and reflection as to what we had experienced over the weekend. We each made a commitment to not let this be a one-time event, but the beginning of meaningful service so close to home and impacting thousands of lives. To learn more, donate, and lend your talents to this work, visit calais.r3missions.org. We thank you for being a part of the movement.